Hey mamas, welcome back. Today, I want to talk about something we've all either experienced or witnessed, and that's relationships where one person carries all the weight while the other just coasts along. It's draining, frustrating, and it often leaves you wondering, how the hell did I end up here? If you've ever felt like the one doing all the work, whether that be emotionally, financially, or otherwise, I want you to know you're not alone. I see you. And today, I'm going to break this down using a story that you might remember from childhood, the fable of the ant and the grasshopper. But before we dive in, I want you to really think about this. Who's been the grasshopper in your life? Maybe it was a partner, a friend, or even family. And more importantly, have you been the ant, doing all the work while someone else gets to reap the benefits? So keep that in mind as we go through this. Because by the end of this, I hope you'll feel seen and empowered to make the changes you need. So let's go over this story in case you don't remember it or you've never heard of it. So there's this ant and there's a grasshopper. All summer long, the ant is working hard, day in and day out. He's gathering his food, building shelter, and making sure that everything is ready for winter. He doesn't have time to play around because it knows the hard times are coming. Meanwhile, the grasshopper is just living his best life, hopping around, singing and relaxing in the sunshine. And every time the ant passes by, the grasshopper is like, "Why are you working so hard? Just enjoy the moment." But the ant doesn't stop. It keeps working because it knows that when winter comes, preparation will make the difference between survival and struggle. And then bam, winter hits. And the ant, it's just fine. It has its food, warmth, and everything it needs to get through the cold months. But the grasshopper, on the other hand, it's starving and freezing, left out in the cold, with nothing to show for all the time it wasted. Now it's knocking on the ant's door, begging for help. Now let's think about this story in the context of relationships, especially if you've been in one with a narcissist. The ant, well, my dear, that's you. You're the one putting in all the effort. You're building the relationship, taking care of all the responsibilities, and thinking about the future. You're the one making sure there's food on the table, that the bills are paid, and the emotional needs of the family are met. And the grasshopper, well, that's the narcissist. They're enjoying the good times, taking everything you provide, and they contribute little to nothing. When you're stressed, they're not helping. When you're tired, they're still demanding more. And when winter comes, those tough times in life, they'll be the first ones to point fingers and say, "Why didn't you do more?" Sound familiar? It's exhausting to be the ant in the relationship with the grasshopper. They take and take while you give and give until there is nothing left of you. Now, I also want to address this idea that floats around in certain spaces online. When men love to say winter is coming, especially when they talk about single moms, they act like we as single moms are doomed, like we're out here struggling and unprepared for life's challenges. But here's the funny thing. They love to position themselves as the ant in the story. But in reality, most of them are grasshoppers. Think about it. Single moms are out here grinding, sometimes working 2, 3 jobs, raising kids, building a future. And these men are sitting on the internet complaining about women and avoiding responsibility. They're not preparing for winter. They're wasting time pointing fingers and playing the victim. And when real life hits, when their own winter comes, they're the ones left out in the cold. Meanwhile, us single moms that they love to criticize, we've been through winters before. We've survived toxic relationships, financial struggles, and every storm that life has thrown at us. They love to act like we're weak, but the truth is, we're the strongest ones out here. We've had no choice but to make it, to survive. So, the takeaway here? Well, first, if you've been the ant in a relationship with a grasshopper, whether it's been a partner, a friend, or even a family member, it's time for you to set some boundaries. You can't keep carrying the load for someone who refuses to step up. You deserve a partner who's willing to prepare for winter with you, not someone who expects you to do it all alone. And second, don't let anyone tell you that winter is coming for you when you've already survived more winters than they could ever. Single moms, survivors of toxic relationships, we've been through it all, and we're still here. And don't forget that makes you stronger than any grasshopper out here. And finally, you are not responsible for saving someone who refused to do the work. Let them face their own winters. You've done enough. So thank you so much for joining and listening today. I hope this story resonated with you, and I hope it reminded you just how strong you are. Until next time, remember to take care of yourself, and don't forget to prepare for your own future, not for someone else's.